Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Bhante.
Morning, Bhante.
Good morning, Bhante.
Good morning, Bhante.
Morning, Bhante.
Morning, Bhante.
Good
All
morning,
right.
Bhante.
Now we start our Dhamma talk. Today we are going to talk on Nandaka Sutta. There is another Nandaka Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 148. The discourse was so good that Buddha asked him to give the same talk the following day. So Nandaka is known for giving very eloquent, clear Dhamma talk in very sweet voice. Even the Buddha liked to listen to it. Here is what happened in Nandaka Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, section 9, Navaka Nipata. So you can see the discourse in English. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. Now on that occasion, when Nandaka was instructing, encouraging, inspiring, and gladdening the bhikkhus in the assembly hall with a Dhamma talk. Then in the evening, the Blessed One emerged from seclusion and went to the assembly hall. Now this is Buddha's regular routine. After Pindapata, after eating his lunch, and then have a little rest in seclusion, meditating, calming his body and mind, and letting the food settle in his body, and then he get up and then go to the assembly hall, that is all where monks assemble. He stood outside the door waiting for the talk to end. When he went there, it was in the evening, so he waited there, listening to his talk until it ends. The first watch of the night ended, and he did not stop the talk. Then Venerable Ananda said to the Buddha, Venerable Sir, now it is late in the evening, first watch of the night is past, you must be tired. Buddha did not listen to him. When that the talk was finished, then the second watch came, and in the second watch also, Venerable Ananda asked the Buddha, Venerable Sir, now it's midnight, after even passing the second watch, you must be tired. Buddha was so interested in listening to Nandaka's talk, he was giving in a very sweet voice, and then he kept listening. Then in the morning, the Venerable Ananda said to the Buddha, Venerable Sir, it is very late, now it is next morning, therefore it is time for you to stop or enter the house, the Sangha hall, the what you call Dhamma hall. Then the Buddha, when it was ending, that the talk was finished, then he cleared his throat and tapped on the bolt. You know, even the Buddha would not enter assembly hall without knocking on the door. That is a very polite way of entering a room where there are people. Now, in this case, monks were listening to Venerable Nandaka's talk, and he knew that talk was over, and yet, as he was extremely polite, he knocked on the door, and then the bhikkhu opened the door for him. The Blessed One then entered the assembly hall, sat down on the seat that was prepared for him, and said to Venerable Nandaka, "You gave the bhikkhus a long exposition of Dhamma. My back was aching while I was standing outside the door, waiting for the talk to end. And my back was aching. I was standing because the sermon was so beautiful." When this was said, Venerable Nandaka, feeling embarrassed, said to the Buddha, "Bhante, I did not know that the Venerable One was standing outside the door. If I had known, I wouldn't have spoken so long." Then the Blessed One, having understood the Venerable Nandaka's embarrassment, said to him, "Good, good, Nandaka, it is proper for a clansman like you, who have gone forth out of faith from household life into homelessness, to sit together for the sake of Dhamma talk. When you assemble Nandaka, you should do one of two things: either talk on Dhamma, or maintain noble silence." Now, this is very important thing. Many a time we hear this sentence in many places. He said, okay, then this is a very famous statement. Sannipattana Nandaka Dayam Karaniyam Dhammiva Kata Ariyova Turni Bhavo. When you assemble, you must do one of the two things. Either you talk on Dhamma or maintain noble silence. This means don't talk all these 32 unwholesome talks, Rajakatha, Chorakatha, and so forth, talking about the kings and thieves and cities and properties, women, dancing. Don't talk about those things. Either you talk on Dhamma or maintain noble silence. What is the noble silence? Noble silence, people normally say in retreat, in various places, they say, we want to observe noble silence. Noble silence is the silence that naturally occurs to you when you are in the second jhana. Second jhana. It is in the second jhana your vitakka vichara stops. Vitakka vichara are called word condition, vachi sankhara. Vachi sankhara means word conditioner. You first think and speak. And therefore, when you don't think or speaking, you don't have a thought of speaking. The mind is totally silent in the second jhana. So you assemble and sit down, meditate, attend the jhanas, second jhanas. So then Buddha gave very beautiful, succinct, clear discourse. He said, Nandaka, bhikkhus may be endowed with faith, but he is not virtuous. Thus, he is incomplete with respect to that factor he should fulfill that factor, thinking, how can I end out with faith and also be virtuous? But when a bhikkhu is endowed with faith and also with virtues, then he is complete with respect to that factor. Now, you have to have the saddha and sila. You have to have saddha and sila. If you only have saddha and do not have sila, then you are incomplete in that practice. Therefore, add sila, morality. Practice moral. As among there are so many rules to observe. Chatupari sila, Pratimokha sila, Indriya Sangra sila, Adi Parisuddhi sila, Pratyanissatra sila. There are 4 kinds of virtues. Virtuous following monastic rules according to Pratimokha, where there are 227 precepts. Then restrain your senses and restrain your eating, and then restrain of your conduct, what you call your livelihood. These are the sila. And then the Buddha says, bhikkhu may be endowed with faith and virtues, but he does not gain internal serenity of mind. He may gain, and you may have saddha, sila, but you may not have samadhi, tranquility. Thus he is incomplete with respect to that factor. He should fulfill that factor. That means he observe, gain serenity, calmness of the mind. And he must think, how can I be endowed with faith and virtues and also gain internal serenity? Ajjatam sampasadana. Ajjatam sampasadana also is in the second jhanic stage. Vitak vicharana upadama, ajjatam sampasadana. Chetaso ekodi bhavam. Avitakam avicharam samajam pitsukam dutiya jnana upasampajya virti, Buddha says. Then, when bhikkhu is endowed with faith, is virtuous, and also gain internal serenity of mind, then he is complete with respect to that factor. Then the third, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu may be endowed with faith and virtuous and may gain internal serenity of mind, but he does not gain the higher wisdom of insight into phenomena. That is, higher wisdom into phenomena is mindfulness, sati sampajanya. Sati sampajanya. So he has to develop in that. If he doesn't have sati sampajanya, thus he is incomplete with respect to that factor. So Buddha said, gave a very beautiful simile. Just as a four-legged animal with one lame or defective leg would be incomplete with respect to that limb, so too when a bhikkhu is endowed with faith, is virtuous, and gain internal serenity of mind, but he does not gain the higher wisdom of insight into phenomena. That means he doesn't have sati sampajanya. Then in that respect he is incomplete with respect to that factor. So he must think, he should fulfill that factor, thinking, how can I end out with faith and virtues and gain internal serenity of mind and also gain higher wisdom of insight into phenomena? And then the fourth, But bhikkhus is endowed with faith, is virtuous, and he gains internal serenity of mind and also gain the higher wisdom of insight into phenomena, then he is complete with respect to that factor. And having said this, now Buddha already had backache. Even with backache, he gave this very beautiful instructions to monks. And then Buddha slowly got up from his seat and went to his Gandhakuti, his room. Then, long after the Blessed One has left, the Venerable Nandaka addressed the bhikkhus. You see, Nandaka has not finished his discourses. He gave a discourse entire night. You see, from evening till next morning. Actually, we had this tradition in Sri Lanka many years ago. I remember when I was young, I remember going to a temple with my mother and listening to Dhamma. Of course, in that case, these days when you give that long Dhamma talk, nobody can understand, nobody is awake, everybody is sleeping. So I saw one man, old man, sitting in front of the monk, and he would say, folding his palms, after every sentence, "Hey, Swaminathan, yes, Venerable sir, yes, Venerable sir." In the middle of the night, when I wake up from my mother's lap, I see only the monk and the man who says, "Yes, sir," are awake. Everybody was asleep. Next morning, I hear people are talking about themselves. Oh, Dhamma talk was so deep, so profound, we didn't understand a word of it. How can they understand? They sleep all night. Now, in this case, when the Venerable Nandaka gave Dhamma talks, no one slept. And Nandaka had so much energy, just after Buddha left, after giving his short instruction, Nanda took it over and said, "Just now, friend, before he rose from his seat and entered his dwelling, the Blessed One revealed the perfectly complete and pure spiritual life in 4 terms." So he gave the summary of what the Buddha said. But he said, when a bhikkhu is endowed with faith, virtuous, gain internal serenity, so forth, in respect to that, there are, friends, these 5 benefits in timely listening to Dhamma. So, Kalena Dhamma Sakacha, Kalena Dhamma Savanam, you hear in Mangala Sutta. When you listen to Dhamma in time and discuss on the Dhamma, there are 5 benefits. In this discourse, there are, when Nandaka mentioned. Now, even though he had given Dhamma talk whole night, still he want to tell the monks the benefit of listening to Dhamma. So he said, here, friends, a bhikkhu teaches a bhikkhu Dhamma that is good in the beginning, good in the middle, good in the end, with right meaning and phrasing. He reveals the spiritual life that is perfectly complete and pure. In whatever way a bhikkhu teaches the bhikkhus the Dhamma, that is good in the beginning and so forth, and reveal the spiritual life that is perfectly complete and pure. Just that way the teacher becomes pleasing and agreeable to him, respected and esteemed by him. Now this is the first benefit. There are other benefits which I mention if I have time later on, but he said when he gives the Dhamma, which is the beginning is good. Adi Kalyan. What is the beginning? Sila. Good in the middle. What is the middle? Samadhi. Good in the end? Spanya. So he teaches the Dhamma, which explains Sila, Samadhi, Panya. And that way, when he gives the Dhamma talk, the listener becomes very pleased and agreeable to him. And then he begins to respect and esteem that teacher. So he gains the respect and appreciation from the listener. All listeners. This is the first benefit. Second benefit, because this is Dhamma, I try to go through it very quickly and experience inspirations and the meaning and inspiration in the Dhamma. This is the second meaning. That means in just that way, he teaches Dhamma in beginning is good, middle is good, and so forth. In relation to that Dhamma, he experiences inspiration in the meaning and inspiration in the Dhamma. Who experiences it? Listener experiences it and teacher experiences it. While he's teaching, he experiences the benefit and he gets inspiration. As he is teaching, he gets inspiration. And the listener also gets inspiration. So both get inspiration. That is second benefit by listening to Dhamma. You listen to Dhamma and you get inspiration. And the one who gives Dhamma talk to you also gets inspiration. That is the second benefit. Third benefit is it reveals the spiritual life that is perfectly complete and pure. In just way, he sees in that Dhamma a deep and pity matter after piercing it through wisdom. Now, when you listen to Dhamma again and again and again, your mind becomes clear and clear and clear, and the mind can penetrate into the depth of the Dhamma. And you can, that is then you can see the purity of Dhamma. He sees in the Dhamma a deep and pity matter that is succinct, proverbial matter after piercing it through wisdom. Panyaya pativijjati. You see with wisdom. That is the third benefit. And the fourth benefit is when you listen to Dhamma, his fellow monks esteem him more highly, thinking that surely this venerable has attained or will attain. You see, when somebody explains Dhamma very clearly, exactly as the Buddha meant it to be, then the listener thinks, oh, this venerable has either attained stream entry, once eternal stage, or never eternal stage, or arhathood. Or he will attain very soon because he is very close to getting perfection. That is the fourth benefit. And the last benefit Venerable Nandaka mentioned to the bhikkhus is he will, who dwells aspiring for the unsurpassed security from bondage. So, on hearing the Dhamma, those bhikkhus, they are who are trainers, who have not attained their heart's ideal, who dwell aspiring for the unsurpassed security from bondage. What is this unsurpassed security from bondage? The attaining Nibbana. Arouse energy for that attainment, or the as yet unattained, for the achievement of as yet unachieved, for the realization of the as yet unrealized. But having heard the Dhamma, those bhikkhus who are arahants, whose taints are destroyed, who have lived the spiritual life, done what had to be done, laid down the burden, reached their own goal, utterly destroyed the fetters of existence, and are completely liberated through final knowledge, are devoted simply to the pleasant dwelling in this very life. Pleasant dwelling in this very life is the Ditta Dhamma Sukha Vihara. Ditta Dhamma Sukha Vihara. Having attained liberation, they also attain jhana. First four material jhana are called Ditta Dhamma Sukha Vihara. Pleasant dwelling in this very life. And this is the fifth benefit. So Venerable Nandaka gave this summary of the benefit of the listening to Dhamma. There is another discourse of Dhamma and Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya, which gives a little different five benefit. That is Asutang Sunati, learning new information. Dhamma talks and exposes listeners to new knowledge and insight, especially for those new to Buddhism. Asutang Sunati. Those who are new to Buddhism have not heard these things. Buddha said in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Pubbe Ananusutesu Dhammesu. The Dhamma has not been exposed, explained, and has not declared, and therefore people have never heard these things. We never heard of it, they said. Then the second benefit in Dhamma and Sutta in Samyutta Nikaya, clarifying existing doubt, Sutang Paryodapati. So you listen to Dhamma, and some are little nebulous, not very clear to you. So even with the existing knowledge, Dhamma teaching can help listeners clarify their understanding and deepen their grasp of the corrections. You read the Dhamma book once, you may not understand it very clearly. Read it again, you have little better understanding. And read it again and again and again. Every time you read the Dhamma book, you get deeper and deeper understanding, and your doubt slowly vanishes from your mind. Then third is resolving doubt. Dhamma can address uncertainties and dispel doubts about Buddhist teaching or practice, providing clarity and directions. Now, you may still have doubt. Even though you read many times, your mind becomes clear. There may be shade of doubts in your mind. And then correction, misunderstanding. Ditthing ujung karoti. Sometimes it is very easy to misunderstand something than understanding. And therefore, listening to Dhamma can help listeners correct false beliefs and cultivate more accurate understanding of reality, leading to better decision making and ethical conduct when you listen to Dhamma. And of course, you have to pay total mindful attention. Oita soto Dhamma sunati. Buddha said, bend up your ears upon the Dhamma. Then promoting mental serenity, chittamasa pasidati. Dhamma teaching when can evoke serene of joy and happiness. So, alleviating suffering and promoting mental well-being. Now, these are the benefits of listening to Dhamma. And therefore, when you listen to Dhamma, when you read Mangala Sutta, particularly Kalena Dhamma Savanam, Kalena Dhamma Desana, Kalena Dhamma Sakaccha, and so forth, Kalena Dhamma Savanam, Kalena Dhamma Sakaccha, you remember these benefits and keep reciting the discourse. And that gives you blessing, Mangala. So, friends, this is all I can do today in this short Dhamma talk. And now it is time for us to do some meditation. Now, let us do meditation and okay. Uh, okay. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, Bhante.
Yes.
Okay. Now let us listen to this message of metta. I recite, you listen to it, and then we go into silence. At least we may have 25 minutes to meditate. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another, as a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child. Even so, towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. Okay, friends, with this we start our meditation. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish. May I join always with the wise until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings ascend in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Now that is the end of today's session. And let me finally make my regular earnest wish. May all those who are in hospitals taken care of by very compassionate doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs, may they recover very soon, return to their regular normal life, practice Dhamma, practice meditation, and may they finally attain liberation. May all the doctors, nurses, hospital staffs who are helping these people with compassion also find time to practice Dhamma, practice meditation, and liberate from samsaric suffering. May those who have lost their loved ones may still be grieving, may they be free from grief, and they too understand the nature of Dhamma and practice meditation, attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in trouble spots, at war zones, discrimination, poverty-stricken, and so on, may they also find time to understand the nature of greed, hatred, and delusion, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering through the practice of Dhamma and meditation. May all those who are in the northern direction, northeastern direction, eastern direction, southeastern direction, southern direction, southwestern direction, western direction, northwestern direction, above, below, all around in all these 10 directions, be well, happy, and peaceful, and finally attain Nibbana. With this, friends, I want to end this session. If you have questions, you can ask me those questions tomorrow. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante.
Sadhu, Pradesh.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.